Greetings. This is the first in a three-part series on using Microsoft Office SharePoint Server for document management and collecting electronic signatures. The first part will involve setting up a SharePoint site collection and then setting up a document library and templating a Word document to that library. The second part will go ahead and add a approval workflow to the document library to allow an approver to come in and add an additional signature. And then the third part will deal with getting an info path form present in the browser. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to go in to Central Admin, which I already have up. Let's find it right here. Okay, once we get in here, let's go to Application Management. I'm going to go to Create Site Collection. And the way this came about is a good friend of mine asked me about this a few weeks ago. He's a manager for an engineering company, and he's trying to do just this with SharePoint. So I thought I'd put together this three-part series to hopefully help him out. So in the spirit of that, we'll go ahead and call our site collection Engineering. Okay, let's change it to Sites, Engineering. Now we're just going to use the generic team site. That will do everything we need it to do. So that's right out of the box. I'm logged in as administrator right now, so to keep it simple, we'll go through all three parts just as administrator. Of course, in your production environment, you're going to have multiple users. I'll leave configuration of permissions and security up to you. Okay, say OK. Okay. Now that our site collection is created, let's go ahead and do a control click here to open the root of the site collection in another tab. Set this back to just the home of Central Admin. Something I like to do here is set my home page to the Central Admin and your root of your site collection tab. That way, anytime we open our browser, we're going to have both places that we need to do our work readily available. Okay. So here's our site collection. We're now going to add our document library that's going to house our template for a signed Microsoft Word document. So let's click on View All Site Content. Let's say Create. Let's say Document Library. Call this Signed Docs. Okay. Can leave all this default except for this one. I'm using Office 2007, so let's bring this down to Microsoft Office Word document. Say Create. Okay, so here's our document library. Now let's configure some of the settings on this. So we'll go to Settings, Document Library Settings, and first let's set versioning. I know ISO can be a concern for many companies. Look at your documentation and you can decide here how you want to do your versioning. You have major versioning, minor versioning. We'll just say major versioning for now. And then also down here, require documents to be checked out before they can be edited. We'll put that to yes. That way you won't have two users editing the same document at the same time. Let's say OK. Okay, and then we're going to go into advanced settings here. And here's our template. Just to note, this is a template for this document library. It's not a global template. So we're going to go ahead and click on this Edit Template. Okay, so if you have a template that you're already using or a Word doc you're already using, the easiest thing to do here is just to open that, and let's just copy the contents of it out. And let's just paste that right into our template. Okay, now let's add an electronic signature to this. Let's actually add two. Let's add one for the preparer and one for the approver. So we're going to go to Insert, and we're going to go to Signature Line. Okay. Say this is worker. Insert one more for the approver. Okay, now all we need to do is click on Save. And let's go ahead and close this down. Okay, now let's test that. Let's click on this edit template again. And let's verify that our form comes up with both signatures. Great, we're good to go. Okay, we'll leave all the rest of this default and we'll say okay. Now let's go ahead and test this out. For an end user, what would happen? They would come into the site, they would go to view all site contents, they would go to the signed docs. When they needed to fill this document out, they would click on new. This is going to bring our template up. They would fill in some data here, so on and so forth. They would then double click. Okay, let's save this to our desktop, and we'll call this first signed doc. Okay. Go ahead and give it a signature there. That's good. Okay, let's close that down. And there's many different ways to get a document into SharePoint. I'll just show you one here. This would be the easiest way to do it. Just click on the upload button. We're going to browse for that. It's on our desktop. And what was it in our documents? First signed doc. There it is. Okay. And say okay. Okay, so let's check this guy in. And there you have it, our first signed doc submitted to the document library, signed docs. This is the end of the first part of the series. In the second part of the series, we will add an approval workflow to this document library to alert the approver that there's been a new document added that requires their attention. Thank you.